Due to the coronavirus, I haven't been able to ride a single coaster this year, and that sucks because I had plans to go to 4 parks this year, but unfortunately none of those trips came to be. They were Mount Olympus, Kings Island, Kentucky Kingdom, and Busch Gardens Tampa Bay. So today, I thought I'd count down my top 10 coasters I would have ridden in 2020. Please note that I'm not including any roller coasters from Great America as it's my home park and I go there every year. Also, I haven't ridden any of these with the exception of Montu, so keep in mind that these are my expectations. With all that said, let's jump into my top 10 coasters I would have ridden in 2020. At the number 10 spot is Hades 360 at Mount Olympus. I'm confused on what to expect. A fun and intense ride that's underrated, or a rough, forceless ride that's overrated. So I'm just gonna put it in the middle, not too high, not off the list, just at number 10. I'm leaning towards it being fun and underrated. However, because it was one of the only parks to open back in May, practically everyone went there and now it seems adequately rated. But at the same time, I found Outlaw Run to be unbearably rough, and that is literally an RMC, so I don't know how the original Gravity Group Woody will hold up. So I'm just gonna assume that it'll be good, but not great. Anyway, the airtime looks solid and the inversion looks to be filled with hang time. That drop out of the station looks crazy, and so does that hill that leads back underground. It looks fun, but certainly not the best out there. Number 9 is the Beast at Kings Island. This is a ride that, to be blunt, looks dumb. It seems like one of those rides that are stretched out for way too long. The only reason it's up here is the final helix and their night rides, so if those disappoint me when I hopefully ride it next year, it'll be pointless. I totally get that this ride has its fans, but I mean, the pacing looks lackluster and the elements look way too drawn out. I'm sure that my opinion of this ride just lost me at least 20 subs, but I don't care, it looks pretty stupid. Coming in at number 8 is Banshee at Kings Island. Now this ride looks fun! The forces look to be crazy, it looks smooth, and it seems to have a really solid layout. The pretzel knot looks insane and the inline twist looks crazy. I get that it might have a rattle, but I kinda find that hard to believe considering it's only 6 years old, and it's a B&M. X-Flight is the smoothest coaster at Great America, and that opened in 2012, 2 years before Banshee opened. Banshee looks really fun, but I still don't think that anything can top Montu. That ride is in a league of its own. Number 7 is Diamondback, also at Kings Island. This ride looks to be fun, but a bit overrated. It looks very repetitive, but at the same time, very exciting. The drop looks okay and the hills look fun, but I can't see this being the best B&M Hyper. I'm not complaining as it looks super enjoyable and smooth and all, but there's something about the simplicity of a couple hills and a couple turns that doesn't seem appealing. Again, it looks fun, but I don't see why everyone raves about it. I only have one major expectation, and that is that it will be better than Raging Bull. If it isn't, well, then Kings Island, you've failed. However, Raging Bull is not a very high bar, so I'm not really worried about it. For the 4th straight coaster at Kings Island, we have Orion. Okay, this ride looks to be so much fun. I mean, you got a good drop, unique elements, airtime, forces. What is there not to love? The length. People were getting mad because it's not some crazy 325 foot tall, 6,600 foot long track of airtime, laterals, and fun elements. It doesn't need to be that. Before this coaster was even confirmed, El Toro Orion made a really interesting video on why Orion does not need to be Fury and why it won't be as good. They don't need to pay for a ridiculously huge and expensive machine when they can make it something slightly shorter in height and length. Why not? They have crowds. The purpose of Fury was to attract crowds to Carowinds. Kings Island already has those crowds, so they didn't need to build this in the first place. Ryan's video is super interesting and informational. I suggest you check it out. The link will be down below. Next, we have Mystic Timbers, the final coaster at Kings Island. I have never ridden a GCI, so I have no idea what to expect. However, I think it'll be along the lines of this. I think it'll have sharp floater, weak positives, and really good laterals. But I just don't know how it would feel. It won't be an RMC Woody, and it won't be a PTC. So I genuinely have no idea what to expect for how the ride feels. The floater looks good, and there might even be some lifter in there. However, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't like laterals. or at least on woodies. Maverick pulls some laterals that are so intense they shouldn't be legal, and I love those. However, on rides like American Eagle and Viper, the laterals are kinda uncomfortable. That said, those are some rather old coasters. Viper is 25 and American Eagle is 40, so I don't know how laterals on a 3-year-old coaster will be. Number 4 is Lightning Run at Kentucky Kingdom. Here is where the list gets elite. Lightning Run is the only Chance Rides Hyper GTX roller coaster out there. Lightning Run opened in 2014 with the park's reopening. It replaced Grease Lightning, a Schwarzkopf shuttle coaster. It is widely known for its sharp airtime pops throughout the ride, and it looks insane. Like, seriously, this thing looks freaking bonkers. Many people are under the impression that Alan Schilke designed it, but instead it was Joe Draves. Draves does not get as much credit as he should. He is well known for his work on Max Force and Steel Curtain. But anyway, Lightning Run looks to be easily one of the best coasters in the country. Number 3 is Montu at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. Okay, I don't even know how to describe this coaster. I'm not even going to go too in depth with this ride because I've already made a review for it. Check it out. And here's a random fact about that video. In May, I finished the script and did the first half of the recording. Then I kinda got uninspired and got bored of making YouTube videos for a while. However, in August, I started making more videos, and I finally got around to recording the second half. And you can definitely notice it. Because I recorded both parts several months apart, you can hear my voice drop. So with all that said, let's get into the ride layout. You depart the station and enter a right-hand turn going into the lift hill. So with all that said, let's get into the ride layout. You depart the station and enter a right-hand turn going into the lift hill. It's subtle, but you can still kinda hear it. Anyway, Montu is such a fun coaster. The entire ride has ridiculous positives that simply don't let up. It is intense as all get out. You hit the bottom of that drop, feel those positives, and they don't stop. Throughout the entire ride, you feel those positives. This ride is so much fun. At the number 2 spot is Storm Chaser at Kentucky Kingdom. Storm Chaser looks to be one of the best coasters in the country. The sheer speed it has flying over each hill looks to make it one of the most intense coasters out there. Also, when the ride warms up and goes through its trick track double up, it literally looks like the ride is trying to end its riders. And the off-axis airtime hills look mental. I love the one on Steel Vengeance, so 2 of these crazy airtime moments back to back will be so much fun. I've never experienced a barrel roll drop, so I'm super excited for that. I won't get a lot of airtime during the drop because it's a roll, but I don't mind because there will be plenty of air during the rest of the ride. This coaster seriously looks to be one of the best out there. The number 1 coaster that I wanted to ride this year actually couldn't be ridden by anyone as it didn't even open. Yup, you guessed it. It's Iron Gwazi. Now before you say that Iron Gwazi isn't open, yes, you're correct. But I was going to ride it this year before COVID as it was supposed to open this year. Anyway, oh my god. When I first saw the POV for this ride, my jaw was on the floor. The pacing is amazing, but it's different than other RMCs. The elements are bigger, so it's not back-to-back elements like Storm Chaser. Instead, it hauls through large, more intense elements like the beginning of Steel Vengeance. And, to be honest, I prefer the first half of Steel Vengeance to the second half. Plus, Iron Gwazi looks to be better than Steel Vengeance's first half. Seriously, Iron Gwazi looks to be the best coaster in the world. That's right, screw you, Zadra. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new here, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more content just like this. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram. I also want to thank you for helping me reach 300 subscribers. Unfortunately, I'm completely out of ideas for my 300 subscriber special, so please, drop me some ideas down below. I would really appreciate it. See you guys in the next video. Goodbye.